This is a short sequence I've put together for mums to do at home with their newborn babies. It's a taster of the kind of thing I do in my mum and baby yoga classes. Obviously, it's much shorter. You can do it with your baby awake in front of you, as I have my baby here, my baby Jack. And then you have nap time free for other things. So it's great to be able to do something like this with your baby, and you're up close and you're bonding with them, and you're getting a little bit of movement, a little bit of release of tension while you're doing it. So it's safe to do from 6 weeks and from 10 weeks if you're recovering from a C-section. I would just have your checkup first. So without further ado, we'll get started. So just get yourself a comfortable seat. Make sure you're rooting down through your sit bones. Maybe roll your shoulders a couple of times. And I'm going to start with what I call the quick fix. If you're feeling tired, tense, anxious, just even to take 10 seconds to do this at any time is really good. So we're going to inhale, squeeze the shoulders to the ears, and exhale, sigh it out and drop. Inhale. And one more. And then just take one hand onto your belly, the other hand onto your chest. If your baby needs physical contact, you could have that hand on your baby instead. And you're just going to take about 3 nice deep breaths here. And as you breathe in, try and fill up your belly first, then your rib cage, then your chest. And breathe out slowly through your mouth. And again, breathe in, belly, ribs, and chest. And out slowly. Feeling that sense of calm come into the body with each exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, interlock your fingers together. Stretch your arms forward. Inhale, bring your arms over your head. And then exhale and release. Bring your hands forward now and wiggle your fingers at your baby. And then just start to warm up your wrists one direction and then back in the other direction. And then warm up your hands. Hello. Open up around. This will entertain your baby as you're warming up the hands. And then bring your right hand, or whichever hand really, onto the floor. Stretch up through your left hand. Take a nice deep breath in. Wiggle your fingers here. And then exhale over to the right side, softening that right shoulder. Inhale, then come back up. And exhale to the left side. And then we'll float from side to side. Inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale over. So this is great for the breathing, great for any anxiety, and just relieving tension in the mid and upper back and rib cage. One more inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now both arms up on your inhale. And then wiggling those fingers as you exhale and release the arms all the way down. Bringing your hands back to your knees. Now we're going to pelvic tilt. This warms up the spine and the core muscles. So exhale to round in, bringing your chin to your chest. And then inhale to expand through the upper back so the shoulders come back. And you can look up or you can look at your baby. So exhale to round. Inhale. Coming back up in the opposite direction. And then we bring the arms in. So it's exhale to round, wiggle those fingers. You can even give baby a little tickle. And then inhale to open up. Exhale. Inhale. A little bit faster. Exhale. Inhale. Moving smoothly. So this feels nice in the lower back. Nice everywhere else. Don't want to do anything that doesn't feel good in your body. Find what feels nice for you. One more. Bring your hands back to your knees. We're going to straighten out the legs now. So bring them either side of your baby. Go as wide as you feel comfortable going. If you have any residual pelvic pain here at the center of the pubic bone, then just bring the legs in a good bit closer. Otherwise, you can go nice and wide. And we're going to bring the hands up. You can bend your knees a little here. Keep the feet flexed, pointed upwards. Inhale. Hinge from your hips and exhale as you glide forward, out to the sides, and all the way back up. Inhale. Exhale, glide forward. Inhale. And one more. Bend your right knee in. And you may need to move your baby around a little bit, or move yourself around your baby. Stretch your right arm up. And then over to the side. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale back out. Release that right leg. Switch to the other side. Bend the foot in. Inhale. Exhale over to the right side. Inhale. Keep the shoulders soft. Exhale. And then inhale. Releasing back out of the pose, releasing the leg as well. Now we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. So you may need to move back a little bit so that you have more room. Or if your baby is small, I'll show you now in a second, your baby could nestle in here. My baby's already a little bit big, but for the very small ones, this might be comfortable. You could bring the cushion up on your feet. You could be up against a wall. I'll just move my cushion out of the way for a minute so you can see what we're doing. If your hands aren't on your baby, they can come to your feet, and then you can fold forward. You can look down at your baby. You can give them a little wave, a little tickle. Older babies, if you're practicing this with the slightly older babies, they might enjoy nestling in here in the center between your legs. Or indeed, if they're crawling, they might be just crawling around you, paying no attention to you whatsoever. Take a few more nice deep breaths here. And if you've leaned forward, if you've hinged from your hips and come forward, you can come back up again. Okay, so cross your legs, one ankle in front of the other, and we're going to do some twisting. This is fantastic for the upper back and for the spine. So inhale, raise your arms up, and you can wiggle your fingers all the time, especially if your baby is looking at you. And then exhale to one side. Maybe look behind if your baby doesn't mind. If they do mind, if they need that contact, you can just keep looking at them. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the other side. So we're inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then one more time. Inhale the palms together. And exhale and release it all back down, saying hello to baby once more. Okay, so we're going to move over to an all fours position. So if your baby's at the front, at the long side of your mat like mine is, you're going to need to move your baby around to the top of your mat. So just be mindful of your back as you do that. Obviously mine is a doll, so it's a lot easier to move. So take your hands either side of your baby and your baby's cushion or blanket, and bring your knees under your hips. And we're going to do cat-cow, also fantastic for the spine, any backache you might be having, and gently begins to restore functioning in the core muscles. So we're going to exhale to round. Draw your navel towards your spine here, and your chin comes to your chest. Push the floor away from you. Inhale, mindfully moving in the opposite direction to cow pose. So there's a slight arch in the lower back here as you look up. But for some of you, your lower back might be aching, or you might be recovering from a C-section. If that's the case, you can just come back to neutral here. You don't have to go into this arch, okay? So exhale and inhale, either to your neutral or your arch. Exhale, inhale, exhale, draw that navel up. Inhale. And then exhale. And then back to your neutral all fours position. This next one is called Superman pose. I'm going to give you a few different options. You can stop wherever you need to. Step your right leg back. Keep your hips level and your tailbone pointing towards the wall behind you. Extend your left arm forward, so opposite arm and leg. This may be enough. You can just hold here for a few breaths if that's enough for you. If you can go a little bit more, make sure you have that tone, that awareness in the core here, and then raise that right leg up to about hip height, keeping the pelvis neutral. Breathe in and out through the mouth. Maybe baby might enjoy that little bit of fresh air as you breathe out. Inhale and out. One more. And as you exhale with control, now bring the knee and the hand back to the mat. It's all about the control, okay? Core stability that's needed to move with that control. Step your left leg back. Keep the hips level. Extend your right arm forward. Draw that navel in. Bring that awareness to the core muscles. And then raise the leg up. If you're raising it, remember you can leave it on the floor. Breathe. And of course, if it's too wobbly, if you want to keep the leg up but you want to keep both hands on the floor, that's also an option. One more breath. And then exhale with control. Moving through another couple of rounds of cat-cow. And then come into your all fours position here. Your pelvis is in neutral again. Your spine is in neutral. Your gaze is just down towards your baby. We're going to lift the right leg up and bend the elbows back as we reach down to give baby a little kiss. And you can do that 2 more times. Exhaling as you come up, inhaling as you come down. One more. Switching to the other side. Bringing your legs straight out. Inhale. And exhale. Little baby kisses as you go down. One more. And releasing your leg to the floor. Okay, so we're going to do a pose here called the belly lift, the belly squeeze or the belly lift. And this is really great for encouraging the muscle wall to stitch back together here. So when we're pregnant, the abdominal muscles, they just stretch, the rectus abdominal muscles, they stretch, and sometimes they split completely. This is a great pose for helping to stitch it back together. It's not recommended that you do crunches or strong planks early on after in your recovery postnatally, because that can encourage the muscle wall to separate even more. So this more subtle core work is much better at encouraging it to move back together again. So, taking your all fours position, take a nice deep breath in. So your back shouldn't move at all, your spine shouldn't move. It should be able to rest a cup of tea on your back. And then as you exhale, just squeeze your belly muscles up and in. And as you inhale, release and let go. Make sure that you let the belly hang here. Really let it relax as you inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. We're going to do 2 more. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Really let your belly release here. Too many of us are going around squeezing in our belly muscles all the time, and it's really not good for us. It's actually not good for our pelvic floor to be going around with permanently contracted muscles. So it's okay to contract them when you're doing core work, but then you should be releasing them. So we're going to come into a nice downward dog now. So spread your hands out. They should be shoulder distance apart. Spread your fingers out. Really push down as if you're pushing the mat away from you. Hook your toes under and then lift the knees. Draw the front creases in your hips back. Push the floor, try and get nice long arms, and then just begin to pedal out the legs. You can be looking forward at baby whenever you need to. So you can inhale and look forward. You can hold your head forward here, so a bit of a modification to your usual downward dog. Or you can exhale, looking through your legs. Inhale, coming back. Exhale, and so on. And then you can just let both heels rest towards the mat. Take a few more breaths here. Draw the, hug the lower ribs in. Melt the heart down. One more breath. And then very gently, with control again, so not collapsing to the floor, but gently on an exhale, bringing the knees to the mat. Coming onto the flats of your feet. Widening your knees if it's comfortable, widening them apart. And we're going to come into child's pose, or as we call it in mum and baby yoga, the nappy sniff, for obvious reasons here. Release it into the lower back. You could also be playing, tickling with baby, maybe having a little game of peekaboo. If you can, rest the head down to lengthen the back of the neck, do. Soften the shoulders, soften the belly, the hips, the lower back. And then we're going to come over to a bridge pose. So if your baby is happy enough where they are, you can just leave them there. If they need to see you, you could always move them around to the side here. So bring the blanket and the cushion with you and move them to the side. But just so you can see what I'm doing, and this is ideal if they don't mind not looking at you if they're playing or looking at a toy or something. You can bend back. Oops. You can lie back. Bring your hands to the side. Press the feet firmly down into the mat. So they should be about hip distance apart. And then slowly inhale. As you press the feet down, inhale and lift your hips off the floor. Just lifting up as far as you feel going. Keeping the ankles, knees and hips in line. So it doesn't have to be far. And then exhale, release back down. So you're going to move up and down gently with the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Now you can keep going up and down, or you can stay up if you like for a few breaths. You can even draw the shoulder blades, squeeze them in towards each other, interlace your fingers under your body. If you know this pose, if you're used to doing it, let your chest come a little bit more towards your chin, but lift your chin a little bit away from the chest, up towards the ceiling. Press those feet into the mat, lift the hips for one more breath. Release the hands if they're interlocked beneath your body, and slowly begin to ease all the way back down. And just take a moment there. And we're going to finish this little session with a little bit of seated meditation. So always after you've had a baby, it's good to bring the knees in and roll over onto your side rather than lifting up and putting pressure on the abdominal muscles. So roll over and come up this way. That's it. Now, you can sit against a wall if you've got one handy. And if your baby needs a feed or anything, you could be feeding them while you do this. Or you can just take them in your arms, cuddle them, and play this way, whatever works this way. Like I said, if they're crawler and they're moving around, you just keep your eyes open. It's a nice soft gaze. Keep an eye on them. So whatever position works for you, find it now. If you're like me, if your baby's on you like this, you could close your eyes. If your baby is crawling around, just keep a soft gaze. Soften the jaw, soften the forehead, soften the shoulders, the belly, the hips. Bring your awareness to your breath. Gently breathing in and out. Bring the focus to the heart space, the center of the chest. Feel that gentle expansion of the rib cage and the chest as you breathe in. And that soft release as you breathe out. Let everything melt away. Any cares, any worries, any tiredness, any stress, any tension, pain. Exhale and try to allow it to go. And just finish with a couple of simple affirmations for motherhood. You can just repeat this out loud or in your own head after me. I am a wonderful mother. I am exactly what my baby needs. Me and my baby are a team. Each day our bond grows stronger. I trust my intuition to guide me. Thank you very much. Namaste.